So in this video, I'll be making a 16-year-old type beat. First thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a basic melody. So I'm going to get Lounge Lizard. I hear a lot of Rhodes in his music. Some songs have piano, some songs have Rhodes. It really just changes depending on the song. I've been listening to 16-year-old for a long time now, since all the way in 2015 is when I first heard him. And over time, I just noticed he has a lot of different styles. What I'm thinking about making is one of those hard beats that he has with the really punchy kick. But, sometimes he'll have a plug type sound. Other times he'll have that super hard kick with the bass. Sometimes he'll have piano melodies. It just really depends. I'm just letting you guys know what I'm going for before I start. So I'm gonna start by creating a chord progression. With these tutorials, there's no disrespect towards the artist. I'm not 16-year-old. I don't claim to actually know his specific process, but I can break down his style as much as I possibly can and teach you guys, a few techniques along the way. So I know people love to get in the comments and just say shit like, you're not so-and-so, or it doesn't sound like this person. Anyways, I don't even know what I'm doing. I need to focus. Oh yeah, beautiful melody there. First of all, let's get a good BPM. So I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing? This is terrible. Let me seriously focus. I don't even know what scale I'm in. If it sounds off, then it's off. I change the note, keep doing that until I hear the next sound that I want. I always have a chord in mind that I want to play next. See, this is not half bad. The reason why I'm drawing in the melodies is because he has more of a drawn-in melody style. I could be playing stuff on my keyboard, but then I would be tempted to make some super large chords and shit, which is not really his type of style. That's why I don't really, for this, I'm gonna stick to making small chords, just drawing it in. Alright, so we have a decent loop going on here. So I have another melody idea just off of these two chords right here. I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this track with Command D, create a new clip. The reason I had so many awful notes going on there when I was making that chord progression is because literally I just did everything by ear. I didn't even know what scale I was in. I didn't try figuring that out. I just messed around until I get a nice sounding melody. That's why it sounded so awful for a long ass time there. Let's see, what was the other? Did I copy the other chord? Yeah. This was just another melody that I had in my head as I was making those chords, and I heard these two last chords right here, and I was like, hold on, what would happen if I take those and I layer this on top of what we have? And I just did that in my head. You gotta learn how to sample shit in your head in order to come up with good melodies and stuff. So with some of these, I'm gonna have to change the notes. What I'll do is I will select both of these tracks, both of these clips, and I will use the ghost notes to guide my melody. Hell no, I'm not feeling that. I don't like that. Let's change this. Let's see what happens if we take this down. Let's take this down an octave. That's decent. It sounds weird and cool at the same time. So I'm gonna color this differently. I'm gonna call this low chords. And I'll just call this chords. So once you have a basic melody, the next thing you wanna do, actually a basic chord progression, the next thing you wanna do is add, I could use another lounge lizard or I could use a piano because that's what I feel like is most prominent in his songs. And for this, I'm gonna try to just play it. Let me find out what scale this is in. Okay. Let's hit capture on that melody I just played, or I can just record it, to be honest. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add auto pan to this. And I'm going to turn up the amount. I'm going to sync it to my BPM. I'm going to turn the phase down so it becomes a volume control. And then I'm going to change the shape. And let's do eighth notes. So now we get this little smooth sound. Let's add a delay to this piano. This last chord, something sounds wrong with it. Hell no. That's better. Alright, so next up, I want to add some sort of synth sound. I have something in mind of what I want, but I just now need to find either a preset or create it from scratch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by getting Serum and trying to create this from scratch. Pay attention very closely. Heard that little da-da-da. That is what I'll be making. Let's go ahead and detune this saw wave that we start off with. Add a filter. Let's add a sine wave because I feel like that's also, oh shit, something that I would hear. Let's make this sound a little bit plucky by turning down the sustain. Now it sounds way too plain how it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can do FM from the sub. What I had in mind is also turning up the attack a little bit. Let's go ahead and add some delay to this as well. Maybe some reverb. Finally, what I wanted to do is make this sound a little bit more, I guess, crisp and high end. So let's try putting an envelope on this filter. See if that helps. So that it starts off a little bit higher. And then the filter comes down later because it follows the envelope. No, I'm not liking that. So what I'll have to do is do something with the effects in Ableton. Let's see what it would sound like with erosion. Maybe add some reverb outside of Serum. So let's turn off the reverb in Serum. Alright, that's decent. Let's go ahead and record this. Now this lounge lizard chord progression that we have up here, it's sounding kind of plain, so I'm gonna add some chorus. Maybe change the preset a little bit. So add some EQ to these low chords. Alright, so we're all good. Boom, let's group these with Command G and we'll call this harmony. It's a bunch of melodies together with chords. That's called a harmony. So that's our whole beat harmony. If we want to, what we can do is hit this arm button, go to resampling, and just record this. The reason I do that is because I can go ahead and use this clip later on and use it like a sample. I love making my own samples. The link will be in the description. I'll have this melody up on the site this month as well. But the reason why I like resampling stuff to samples and being able to use it like a sample is because I can pitch it around, mess around with the different warp modes, do some weird shit, or just go with complex mode. Sometimes I like stretching stuff. See, that's gorgeous. This is like halftime, the plugin, except we made it manually. So let's just call this sample. Boom. Let's start making a beat now. Let's add some bass. That's the first thing we need. I already have a certain bass in mind, a certain style of a bass. I don't know the exact bass I'm going to use, but we can try that out right now. So I want something super gritty. I'm thinking of that one song called I Feel Like Young Scooter. I want a bass like that one. Go ahead and listen to the song. Feel like young scooter. I'm getting into it. Like young scooter.
Into it, yeah, we into it, yeah, we into it, yeah, feeling scooter, feeling scooter, yeah, we into it, yeah, we into it.
Alright, I kind of have an idea of what it sounds like. Perfect. For my 808 Essentials kit, it's the Coke 808. I love using that one. That's the 808 I had in mind. So now let's find a good pitch. And again, I do this by ear. I think A sharp. Yeah, it's definitely actually D sharp. Alright, so let's take this back down. So what you'll notice about these 808s is that they're super long. This one's, I think all of these are 15 seconds long because I literally extended them and looped them using Ableton Sampler. So I took all my 808s that I had in the older version of 808 Essentials and I made it 15 seconds long. So if I go ahead and play this. Still not running out, still not running out. And there you go. So normally 808s are super short. They run out when you start playing super high notes. That doesn't happen with 808 Essentials. I even have some iconic 808s like the Plug 808. Even that was extended super long. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. put a loop around this and let's pitch this sample up. That's cool. Let's duplicate this piano and select everything and hit ×2. So it, oh shit. Let's select everything, all the notes, and hit ×2 so it becomes stretch. And let's just take the sample out of this group and use it to add it to the second part of our melody here. Or even better, what we can do is freeze the track. Shit, no, I forgot to do something. Let's divide it by 2. Now let's freeze the track. Boom. Let's take this, hold Alt, and then copy it down here. And we can just put this away now. We don't have to worry about it. Wait, let's get the sample out. So let's get this frozen audio that we have. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it. And then I'm going to pitch it up an octave. I'm going to put it in complex mode. And let's bring this in. Alright, we're getting somewhere with this beat. Now let me go ahead and get some kicks, or a kick. This one's just perfect. Kick number 1. I literally put it first because that's my favorite. That was my favorite kick at the time when I made this kit. Let's just literally layer this with the 808 for the most part. I may skip a note and leave the kick off. Now what I'm going to do is, as you can tell, the sample fades off at the end there. So I'm going to chop that part off and bring it to the front. Boom, we're going to call this sample tail. Alright, so this is sounding like the chorus of the beat. I'm going to get a drum rack and I'm going to start getting some hi-hats, a clap, all of that basic stuff. I may layer some stuff. Not bad, not bad. I like to put my hi-hat on its own separate track. Yeah, so at this point I will fill in the gaps. Like I'll put one I'll put the hi-hats 1 or 2 notes lower, and I'll start filling in these gaps. All right, there we go. And at the end, let's do that. Now I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna bring this in a little bit. And then I'm going to turn down the sustain. Now, if we look at the envelope, the sustain is the volume at which the sound is gonna stop. So I want it to go all the way down to silence, and I'm gonna turn down the decay. So now our sound gets cut short. If you follow this curve, that's how the volume is gonna follow. See if we take this down an octave, what that sounds like. Sounds better. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Alright, cool. So at this point we can start adding the clap. I just keep that for last in terms of the main drums, because I feel like the clap wraps everything up. Oh shit, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing right now? There we go. Let's go to classic mode. That's what we forgot to do. Then we go to amplitude envelope and then turn down the sustain. Take this, let's copy, paste it, and hit ×2. And then do something like this. Alrighty, so what I just did is I took this melody and layered it back on top of everything. And so we have our sample, which consisted of that whole harmony that we made. And what I can start doing, and what I've been doing, is I've been pulling different sounds back out of the group. And as you can tell, the group is muted, the track is muted. So when I start pulling things out, then they get unmuted. Then I can just experiment with that stuff. So let's see what I can do with this melody, with this chord progression. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Command I and just bring this to the front, and this is gonna be an intro sound, I guess. Let's bring these chords out of the group. So I'm gonna take a quick break, maybe listen to a few of his songs, see what I want to add to wrap this beat up, and I will be right back. Alright, so I wrapped this whole beat up. I arranged it a little bit, cut out the clips at certain parts, and yeah, so all I did really is I added a few clips here and there. So for example, right here it says fade me. That's just a reminder to show you guys how I would take a clip from a certain part. For example, this one comes from right here. So what I did is I would just copy that, paste it there, and just added it right here as a transition. So right here, let's say this is part A and this is part B right here. The kick comes in right there. So what I did is I just added this so I could transition into that part, and I faded in that way. Now same thing with this one, except with this one I pitched it up super high pitched. I also added that to the intro. It's just gorgeous. So finally with the kick, I layered it with some white noise. Not too much to explain there. I just used operator, changed it to noise white, and I added like a filter to cut out all the low end. Other than that, I'm gonna mix this beat, and thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and peace out.